Hi everyone, my name is Meilina Damayanti and I'm from Critical Reading Class D. Here I'm going to present about my individual review of an article with the title of The Construction of Gender in Dating Apps and Interface Analysis of Tinder and Bumble. The authors of the article are Caitlin McLeod and Vicky McOrder. The author's background: Caitlin was from Faculty of Information, University of Toronto, and Vicky from Institute of Communication, Culture, Information and Technology, and also from University of Toronto, Canada. The name of the journal, Feminist Media Studies, which we published on 16 July on 2018 with number of pages of 20 and volume 20, issue 1, and the keywords are gender, affordances, social media, mobile applications, and identity. Here I will begin with my review. The first one is the introduction. The authors begin with a brief explanation on the content of the article. The author stated that social networking technologies present us with tools to create representations of ourselves and to interact with others. These attempts at making ourselves intelligible in computer-mediated contexts bring to bear both our life identities and the structural supports and frictions afforded by the interfaces through which we act. And also understanding how people act and interact on social media and online requires an account of the motivation and patterns of behavior that are observed within a population of users. It also requires an account of the technologies themselves and their role in shaping what users are able and encouraged to do. The author explained about in the introduction, the authors also explain about the dating apps, the explanation of the dating apps, and they give a detailed background of the objects that they are analyzed. In the article, the authors examine two location-based mobile dating applications, which is Tinder and Bumble. These are not taken to be a representative sample, and indeed, the article specifically analyzes version 1.10.4 of Bumble and version 6.3.2 of Tinder, as displayed on an iPhone 6 using iOS 10.0.2 on November 2016. In the article, there are two research questions. The first one is what options are available for presenting or obscuring one's gender. And the second one, in what ways do the apps affordances offer cues through which subjects are made intelligible to strangers? Next one is the method. In conducting the research, the authors did an interface analysis of two mobile dating applications, Tinder and Bumble, to show how the affordances of these digital communication tools structure their users' identities as they are constructed and performed through the technology. The research mobilized two studies by Irving Goffman and Lucille Ellis Suchman, giving a detailed analysis of the affordances of the profile creation tools of both applications. The discussion, given that the app does not solicit a public gender declaration nor any declaration of sexual orientation. Gender within the apps is not about identity as such, but rather is a way of sorting users into groups that make matches more likely. For example, a person who has selected female and only woman on Tinder is more likely to match with other users who have selected female and either only woman or man and woman than users who have selected male and only men. It may map onto culturally contextual sexual identities, but in terms of the app design, the structuring seems to be pragmatically focused on how the app will be used as opposed to who is using it. Accordingly, the restrictiveness of the gender widgets may not only be an uncritical replication of assumptions about gender, but also a deliberate data strategy, which is having users select the gender category from which the app will draw profiles to show them requires that those gender will be intelligible not only to other users but to the algorithm that calls up profiles to display. For the conclusion, with gender intrinsic to the technical aspects of the apps, Bumble and Tinder structure it in a way that is useful to their design rather than accommodating nuance and varied lived experiences of gender. By contrast, the own gender widgets tools whose design suggests that they afford the most direct representation of gender do not display outside of the editing interface. The own gender widgets, unlike the about widgets, are purely functional, which necessary for efficiently presenting users with profiles they are likely to find attractive, but unconcerned with supporting an accurate public portrayal of one's gender. And as much as the own gender widgets do contribute to the collaborative construction of mutually intelligible gender between performer and audience, they do so indirectly and contextually. The author also provide recommendation and future research. In the light of the analysis, apps like Tinder and Bumble could make certain changes to create an interface that better supports a full range of gender and experiences of gender. Future research in this area might expand to other mobile dating applications or even profile affordances in other purpose-driven mobile apps like ride-sharing. Future research might also extend the analysis beyond the initial profile creation and settings section to include a more targeted interrogation of the swiping sections of the app or their messaging environment. Overall statement, this article does give a detailed discussion based on two studies, and it aimed to find how the gender categories provided to the users while creating profiles match the app's structural needs. The results shows that these apps seem to perceive gender as a rigid category that has more to do with function than identity. The authors provide recommendation and future research and also trusted references. This research may be helpful for anyone who does research on the field of gender. Well, that's all about my review. Thank you for your attention.